Well. Oh boy, indeed. Well, what have we gotten ourselves into this time? I guess we're about to find out. So, I got a code for this game, The Language of Love, from publisher Ratalaika Games. It is a visual novel. It is obviously the melty slash throw kind of game, right? So we are going to check it out. I want to do everything I can to play games that include melty and throw. It's clearly there's not enough of those. In truth be told, I would love a game that was a love triangle between melty and throw. What's the extras? I really love my daughter, but I wish she'd stop waving her magical girl staff around the house. If she's not careful, she'll break something. Isn't that something Throw says every day? It is. Let's start. I sometimes wonder if other 23-year-olds feel quite as old as I do. I'm only 23, I try to reassure myself. I still have my whole life ahead of me. I moved out of my tiny village and I'm going to study in a city near Tokyo, so I can get into a good university. I'm going to pass my university entrance exams. I'm going to work hard, and then, when I finally put my education behind me, I'm going to get a good career. I'll achieve things with my life, even if it kills me. I just want to succeed. I have a lot to look forward to, and I've barely taken my first steps into adulthood. There's no time to get depressed now. But no matter what I tell myself, it never sticks. Sometimes these words help me get to sleep at night, but they seem particularly hollow and empty when I'm at cram school, surrounded by students almost 5 years younger than me. I really am getting old. I'm old compared to my peers, at least. I think I might be the oldest in my class. The others are all 18, with a handful of 19-year-olds sprinkled here and there. It is a game about throw. See? Alright. Even my teacher, Miss Sonezaki, looks to be around 25 or 26. Now, that's a grim thought. I must be closer in age to my teacher than I am to my classmates. Not that they really feel like my classmates. Cram school doesn't feel like real school either. It's a place where failures and dropouts go so they can relearn all the things they should have learned back in high school. We don't cover any new material, we just rehash everything we were taught in the past, over and over again, on a loop. It feels like I'm going around in circles, swallowing my own tail with each step, like an Ouroboros. I've only been in the city for around a week, and I'm already exhausted. Paradoxically, my days here are less packed than they were when I lived out in the countryside. Other than cram school, my days are almost depressingly empty. I get up in the mornings, brush my teeth, and put on my clothes. I catch the train to cram school, then I sit at my desk for hours reading textbooks and answering the teacher's questions. We have a lot of practice exam papers to work through, so there's always something to study for, though the exams themselves are 8 months away. When I'm done with school, I take the train back home, and when I... and then I while my time away until the night finally falls. I don't know what that means. There are too many hours in the evening. I mean, I can understand what it means, but I've never seen that before. There are too many hours in the evenings, and I just don't know how to fill them. My classmates look like they lead fun, exciting lives. I bet that's why they fail their university entrance exams the first time around. They're too busy going to bars, karaoke parlors, or the arcades. But nobody's invited me to a bar, or a karaoke parlor, or an arcade. Sorry, I made hot chocolate and it's still. I'm too old. Feels bad, old man. Perhaps I could have had a painless time if I told a few white lies when Miss Sonozaki asked us to introduce ourselves during our first day of school. But I didn't. For some ungodly reason, I was seized by a sudden need to tell the truth, and I confessed my real age to my classmates. Oof, that is something not to do. I wanted them to know, right off the bat, that my name is Tanimura Mitsuki. Yeah, like the actress, but it's not written the same way. And I'm 23 years old. I might be a bit older than the rest of you, try a lot, but I hope we can all get along in the future. The rest of you who? The player? And the people in chat? Definitely not. As if. Oh, that's what they said. It's what she said to the classmates. Okay. I think I could have made a few friends if I'd kept my shameful secret in the wraps. I mean, it's not like I look much older than everyone else, but it's too late now. The cat's already out of the bag. But the coolest person in my class in uni was actually like a 60-year-old chemical engineer who decided to go back to school and study electrical engineering. Yeah, I think in university, I guess she's taking the entrance exam, so she's not in university. He? I don't know. But, so it's college, right? It's, or high school. It's, maybe 23 is too old to be trying to get in the university. But yeah, in the university, it's so common to have old people who just finished their careers and decided to go and learn something new. I had that in law school a lot, actually. There were a lot of people that you could tell, hey, these guys just finished whatever they were doing and decided to apply to law school and, like, do something new. Just imagine David as a lawyer with his bad takes. I would be amazing. Because everyone who was up against me would be able to go, objection! People would love to go against me. They don't even want to look at me. I can't say I blame them either. I'm only 23 and I feel positively ancient. Though I'm closer to 20 than 30, and the world should be my oyster. How can the world be my oyster, I ask, when I've never had an opportunity to cast out my net? No, I'm afraid I'll never get the chance. I'm only 23. Just 23. Already 23. Isn't that old enough already? But my protests are all in vain, and time continues to tick away. I sigh as I walk down the street, my hands firmly planted inside my pockets. Today was yet another day at cram school, and it was just as dull and uneventful as the last. I might be living in the heart of Japan now, but I feel even lonelier than I did back in Aomori. At least back in the sticks, I still had my parents and my grandmother and a few assorted aunts and uncles I could talk to. I had friends too, until they flew the coop. Still, even after they cleared off, I wasn't entirely on my own. I knew everyone who stopped by my family's old-fashioned candy store, and people used to talk to me as I counted out their change. People weren't above smiling and laughing and telling jokes in Aomori, even with a loser like me. It's different now. I knew the city would be different, of course, but I had always imagined in my naivete, or maybe you could call it optimism, that it would be different in a positive way. I never believed, not in my wildest dreams, that I'd feel so isolated while living on the fringe of the biggest city in the world. Life's full of surprises. Sadly, they're not always pleasant surprises. Is Tokyo the biggest city in the world? Is it? Is it? I've never heard of that. My footsteps fall against the dull, maybe Metropolitan? That's dubious. I don't think things are very big in Japan. No pun intended. My footsteps fall against the dull gray pavement with a series of dull gray thuds. Everything's dull and gray in the rundown part of Kawasaki I call home. The high-rise buildings which don't quite rise as high as those 20 minutes down the Tokaido line. The sidewalk, which is fringed by the curb and lined with street lamps. Unreliable narrator. Good call. Even the sky, which looks grim and dark and downcast, is utterly miserable. I wonder if it's going to rain. I sure hope not. I should hurry. I pass the gates of a small playground driven by the single-minded desire to get inside before the heavens unleash their load on my unsuspecting head when the streamer decides to try to put his webcam on the other side. Shit. Not here. It's not here either. Now, what could that be? Where is it? Where did it go? I can't see the speaker, but their voice sounds breathy and high-pitched. Their frantic words are choked with tears, and it's obvious they're upset. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say that voice belongs to a little kid. I mean, why else would they be in the playground? Remember this when this game becomes a murder mystery. Alright. I wonder what happened. I open the low metal gate, which parts with a creak, and glance around. The playground is fairly nondescript, much like everything else around these parts. I can see a few swings and slides, but they're rusty with age, just like the gate. It's all very typical, standard, uninteresting. Well, what else would be here? A portal to another dimension? It's not an isekai. There is, however, a young girl. Man, the art is pretty cool. The girl is crouched on the ground by the swings. Her hair is short and dark, and her eyes are filled with tears. It doesn't look like some of those fake anime, like anime wannabe art. This actually looks legit. Girl is, no. I read that. I don't want to make a habit of talking to young kids, but something about her looks vaguely familiar. I don't want to make a habit of talking to young kids. Alright. Fair enough. I understand. I wonder why. Mama told me not to go outside. I should have listened, but... She hiccups. Her shoulders tremble. It looks like she's crying. Is there anything I can do to help? Excuse me? Oh? The little girl jumps at my introduction. Timid though it is. She must have been sobbing so much she didn't hear the gate creaking or my approaching footsteps. Sniffing frantically, is she trying to suck her snot back up into her nostrils? She lifts her head and wipes her red eyes with the back of her arm. Ah, classic Japanese red eyes. Classic. Do I know you? Gee, I don't know. Do you? The girl frowns. She looks confused. I guess that wasn't the nicest greeting in the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Is something wrong? Yeah, something bad happened. Bad? I crouched down beside the girl, bringing our faces level. Like what exactly? Yeah. I usually take screenshots. It's all my fault. You won't tell my mama, will you? That depends on what your problem is. Will you tell me what's wrong, please? I can't help you if I don't know. You'll help me? I'd like to, if you'd let me. Well, the thing is, I kinda lost the key to my house. Your key? I can't get back in without it. Where do you live exactly? Over there. The girl points at the nearby apartment complex. Ah, now I understand. Must be why this girl looks so familiar. She lives in the same building I do. I must have seen her in passing before, but her face never registered in my mind. Well, I doubt I'll forget her after this. So, were you at home by yourself? That's right. Mama left to go to the store. She told me to stay inside, but she was gone for a long time. I got hungry, so I used the spare key and went to the convenience store. And then you dropped your key? Do you know when your mother will be back? The girl shakes her head forlornly. How long has she been gone? I don't know. I think she left around 4? So it's been over an hour then. That really is a long time to leave such a little girl at home on her own. What about your dad? Don't have one. Oh, well, talk about awkward. I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? It's not your fault. I guess you're right. And how long have you been looking for your key? I don't know, forever. The little girl looks at me earnestly, her eyes wide in a manner that suggests it really might have been forever. But knowing how kids are, I decide to err on the side of caution. Translated from a child's parlance, forever equates to about 10 minutes, maybe less. That does sound like a predicament. I'll tell you what, would you like me to help you search for your key? You would? I can't promise I'll find it, but I'll do my best. We should be careful though, it looks like it's gonna rain soon. Right, then we should start looking. Mama always says 2 hands are better than 1. The girl clasps her hands together with newfound determination. Her eyes are still red and puffy, but at least she stopped crying. Do I deserve some kind of trophy? Let's hope so. Okay, so due to how Tokyo decides to measure its city, the entire urban area of Tokyo is the largest, since Tokyo, by that definition, is basically its own prefecture. However, the city proper, Chongqing is the largest, although like 70% of the city is ironically rural, again due to how they define themselves. Okay. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I would think it's strange that the biggest city isn't on China just because it's China, right? Everything is gigantic. And Japan is usually condensed, right? Everything is bigger in China, they always say. Yeah, that's why there's that song from Alphaville, Big in China. The well-known Alphaville song. So, mister. Yes, what is it? I was wondering, what's your name? It's, Mitsuki. Mitsuki. That's a pretty name. I'm glad you think so. At least this girl won't make wisecracks about the actress Tanimura Mitsuki. Probably because she's never heard of her. And what's your name? I'm Tama. It's nice to meet you. A trophy. I did get a trophy. Tama, is it? I guess you have a pretty name too. Really? Sure, it's nice to meet you, Tama. It's nice to meet you too, Mitsuki. Hey! Tama tugs at my arm, her eyes large and imploring. I know your name, and you know mine. Does that make us friends? Friends, Tama's a bit too young to be my friend, but it's not like I have droves of people hammering at my door begging for my attention. Depressing though it is, Tama's the first person I've met this week who seems interested in forming any kind of relationship with me. I guess at this point I should take whatever scraps of kindness I can get. Sure, I'll be your friend. Yay! Thanks, Mitsuki! China is gigantic, but it's also curtailed by how they have decided to define their cities. Biggest cities like Shanghai and Beijing are their own special administrative region inside China, so there's a clearly defined border, even though the metropolis of those cities extends far beyond them. Similar to how there's a difference between the City of London and Metropolitan London. Okay. So, like, the metropolitan area of Shanghai goes outside the border of Shanghai? Interesting. I wonder how... I wonder if there's bureaucracy involved with that. With going back and forth all the time. If you work in the administrative region, but live in regular China. Tama beams brightly, her woe over her missing key all but forgotten, and I return her smile without thinking. There's a lot of people around Tokyo. I see them crammed on the trains during my morning commute and striding through the streets as I wend my weary way back home. For some reason, though, they never look very happy. There isn't enough happiness in the world. I'm glad that if only for a few seconds I was able to brighten this young girl's day. All it took was a few words. Man, I wish I was a kid again. That's the right takeaway. It's not here either. Mainly that the cities themselves aren't governed by the provinces that would normally govern them. So for the citizens it doesn't matter? I sigh and straighten up, wiping my hands on my pants. Are you sure you dropped your key in the playground, Tama? That's right. At least I think I did. I don't know. One second I had it, and the next it was gone. When was the last time you saw your key? Tama's brow creases. She shifts from foot to foot, her little fingers clenched at their front. Is she trying to remember through sheer force of will? I guess that's kind of admirable in a way, but I don't want her to overexert herself. I don't know. I don't know when I last had it. I locked the front door like Mama taught me and put the key in my pocket. But then, I don't know anything else. I see. If Tama doesn't remember the last time she saw her key, there's a chance she mightn't have dropped it in the playground after all. It could have fallen out of a hole in her pocket when she walked to the convenience store, or while she was examining the cute and colorful snacks lined up on the shelves inside. We've been searching the playground, leaving no pebble in turn, for the last half hour or so, but we haven't made any progress. Tama's key continues to elude us no matter how hard we search. My knees and my palms are dirty from kneeling on the ground, and the sky looks grayer and steelier than ever before. It's a blatantly unwelcoming sky, thick with heavy clouds, which says, in no uncertain terms, leave. A cold wind runs through the small playground. The rusted swing set creaks ominously, and the roundabout turns a few degrees with the dull screech of a medieval torture instrument. I shiver and adjust the strap of my messenger bag over my shoulder. This isn't looking so good. Oh no. Am I never gonna find the key, Mitsuki? Am I gonna be stuck in this playground forever? What if my mama never comes home? I don't want to stay outside on the playground all night. It's cold here, and I'm scared. I want to go home. I miss my mama. Tears trickle from Tama's matted eyelashes, but trickle is perhaps too delicate of a word to describe this full-blown fit. Her face is turning red, and round tears the size of 100 yen coins drip down her cheeks. Hey, Tama? I look at the sobbing girl, her tiny body hunched in on itself with trepidation. I want to comfort her, but I don't know what to do. We're still virtual strangers, and I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. I shiver. Overhead, the sky darkens. The clouds look thicker than ever. Any second now, it's going to... Looks like it started to rain. Tama sniffles and wraps her arms around her middle. It's cold. My clothes are gonna get wet. I don't like the rain. I don't think anybody likes the rain, unless you're like a tree. What? Lots of people like the rain. Or maybe a lazy, apathetic teenager who really doesn't want to take part in their school's annual sports festival. I've been there myself. I used to pray for the rain before those big sports events every year. It was kind of like a tradition. Though I lived in the countryside during my formative years, I've never been big on athletics. It must be because of my build, or maybe my constitution. Speaking of which, if I leave Tama in the rain for too long, her constitution is going to take a severe battering. She's only a little kid, and kids catch colds more easily than adults. I don't want her getting sick. It'll probably keep raining for a while. I guess we're gonna have to stop looking for a key. We can't keep it up in this weather. Does that mean you're gonna leave me out here? I thought we were friends. Ah, the cute pout. The cute pout face. Of course I'm not going to abandon you, silly. I'm not that heartless. Why don't you come and wait in my apartment for a bit? You can stay with me until the rain lets up, or until your mother comes back. You think Tro is paying attention to this? Absolutely not. What do you think? Is that really okay? Of course it's okay. It's totally fine. What about it? You want to come with? If it's alright then, I'd like that. No one ever told this little girl to not talk to strangers? My mama told me not to go running off with strangers. Oh, okay. But you're not a stranger. You're my friend. Take you, Mitsuki. I don't think that's how it works. Hey, Mitsuki, you're hurting me. I know that. Why don't you be more careful, you peak dummy? I recall the words my mother told me once, years ago, when I was Tama's age and I was squirming in her lap just as much as Tama is in mine. Melty, do the Chiaki pout emote. It's supposed to hurt. My 6-year-old self was angry at my mother for issuing such a matter-of-fact response, and it looks like Tom is no different. Is that on the game or my monitor is dirty? It's on the game. Tama was crying in the park only 10 minutes ago, lamenting her sad fate, but she's recovered considerably after her escape from the elements. Now thoroughly re-energized, Tama squirms and kicks and very nearly bashes my nose with her flailing elbow. Why'd you want to hurt me? You're mean. I thought we were friends. It's because we're friends that I'm fussing over you like this. Good gracious. Now hold still. I'll never be able to clean you up like this. I don't want to be clean. I like being dirty. Well, too bad. We can't always have what we want in life. You should be old enough to know that by now. Kawaii. I scrub at Tama's hair with a plain white towel fished from the bathroom. Tama's hair isn't all that wet. We weren't foolish enough to linger outside in the rain for too long, but I don't want to take any chances. I don't think I've ever seen a hairdryer in anime. Is that just not a thing? Everyone dries their head with a towel. My apartment isn't new per se. I bet this old ramshackle building is even more ancient than I am. But it's new to me, and I don't want to get water all over the tatami floor. You don't watch enough anime? Maybe. That is the thing people tell me, you know? You don't watch enough anime, you need to watch more. Not that it would matter that much, I guess. The tatami is already stained and discolored from the previous inhabitants. So are the walls and the ceiling. Mitsuki! Since I don't have a couch, I had to sit Tama down on my lap. Her behind is bonier than I imagined, and she isn't a very comfortable burden to bear. She isn't heavy, which is a plus, but she keeps wriggling like a fish, which makes it hard to keep a hold on her. You're a bully! That's right. Don't agree with me, but it's true. You're the worst. I know, I'll prove it too. I attack Tama's head with more intensity than before. I massage her scalp with a white towel while she shrieks and kicks her feet and tries to squirm her way off my lap. I've got to say this is a pretty uncomfortable arrangement. Man, I wish I had a couch. This apartment came more or less unfurnished and I haven't gotten around to decorating just yet. I did buy a cheap boxy TV from a nearby pawn shop, but that's more because I felt sorry for the elderly store owner than because I actually wanted it. It's not a good TV. What can you expect for 2,000 yen? But it gets the job done. Bought a TV for 2,000 yen? Nice. I guess not one of those, but it stopped me feeling too lonely in the evenings. Excluding the TV, however, this room is more or less empty. There are no couches, no bookshelves, no pictures on the walls. I should probably spruce this place up, but what's the point? It's not like I get any visitors. Other than Tama, of course. Why are you being so mean? I don't want you catching a cold, or roaming around my room like a damp dog dripping water everywhere. But I like dogs. I like dogs too. But what does that have to do with anything? You're the one who brought them up. It was just a simile. Simile? A simile is when you liken something to something. I look at the top of Tama's tousled head, her choppy hair sticking up in all directions like a bird's nest, and sigh. You know what? Never mind. There's no point lecturing Tama about the finer points of linguistics. I'm not her teacher. Now, can't you try and behave yourself? If you just sat patiently like a nice girl, this wouldn't have to take so long. You're pulling on my hair. Well, sorry, princess. I'm not used to looking after little girls. In case you hadn't noticed, my hair is shorter than yours. You're even meaner than Mama. She pulls my hair a lot when she brushes it, but you're 10 billion times worse. I haven't had any practice. Then you shouldn't put your hands on my head. I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm trying to keep you dry. In my apartment too. This is going on for too long. Simile? Simile. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'll try to remember that. In 2 years when I have to use the word again. Some of these words are... It's hard to remember. Because sometimes it's so arbitrary. Words are the worst. It's just... it is sometimes arbitrary in how you end up pronouncing something. Man, there's a little stain on the background that is bothering me a lot. That I feel it's my dirty monitor, but it's also on the stream, so. Photoshop addict David is looking at the defect. It's not like it even matters. Your apartment is ugly anyways. Oh, it is it? Yup. My left eye twitches. Thomas only speaking the truth, harsh though it is. Little kids aren't like that. They haven't learned about flattery, so they say whatever's on their minds, no matter how biting. I shouldn't be annoyed at her, but this is my home she's talking smack about. It's not a nice home, I'll admit it, but it's my home all the same. Then what's your apartment like, huh? I can't imagine it's much different to mine. It is different. Our apartment is small, but Mama made it look pretty. There are pictures on the walls and shelves and lots of cats. Cats? I thought our landlord didn't allow pets. We have a calendar on the wall with cat photos, and Mama lets me turn each page at the start of every month. I see. Well, your apartment does sound a lot nicer than mine. Heh, you see? That doesn't mean I'm going to let you mess my place up. Now stop being a brat. This'll be over before you know it. Mitsuki, I thought you were my friend. Thomas' uncooperative wails fill the room. I'm a little worried the neighbors will overhear and file some kind of complaint. I don't want my neighbors to hate me. I guess I'd better finish drying Thomas' hair pronto. Her hair's pretty short, but it's quite thick and it takes a while to clean. To make matters worse, she absolutely refuses to sit still. I hope I can finish this chore soon, for both our sakes. I'm not sure which of us is going to snap first. Hey, Tama, are you still mad at me? Tama turns her back to me, eyes narrowed. The little brat is busy staring at my small boxy TV, which I turned on to stop her whining. I thought it was a pretty ingenious plan, but it might have been a little too effective. Tama's so glued to the TV she hasn't glanced at me, let alone spoken to me, for the last 5 minutes. That TV show, whatever it is, must be really engrossing. I bet it's Crayon Shin-chan. Either that or she hates me so much she can't stand to be in the same room as me. So much for being friends. Tama? What are you watching? Emma snorts again, but she doesn't reply. Well, it's not like I care. I was just trying to be nice. At least Emma's hair is dry now, a bit messy. Unfortunately, her clothes are still kind of damp. Her shirt clings to her and the knees of her denim pants are all muddy. I could have run a bath for the little madam and put her dirty clothes in the washing machine, but drying her hair was enough of a chore. She'd never deign to wear one of my old shirts now, especially as she seems to regard me as her mortal enemy. Friendship can be such a fickle thing. Tama, are you sure you don't want to talk? Tama doesn't reply, not with words at least. Instead, she turns her head and sticks out her tongue. Jeez, I hope I wasn't this annoying when I was young. No response. Hey, you should be grateful, you know. I'm trying to look out for you. This, at least, is enough to unstick Tama's tongue. She faces me, smirking wickedly, and says, I think you're the one who needs somebody to look out for you. What was that? Your room is small and dirty. It's gross, and so are you. I thought you were nice, but you're a rotten bully, just like Keiichi. I don't know who Keiichi is, but I know enough to realize this isn't a compliment. Oh, cut it out. I did you a favor. The least you could do is thank me. Thanks. You're so nice, Mitsuki. Tama's voice is carefully flat, without any inflection at all. It's clear she doesn't mean it. Why, you little... Is this when the choking begins? I grit my teeth together. I need to keep my cool. I've seen a yellow man say, why you little, way too many times. Maybe Tama's acting up because she's worried about her mother. To be honest, I'm starting to worry about her mother too. Where is she? Do you think her mother will be back soon, Tama? Don't know. You have any way to contact her? Nope. Does your mother go out without you quite often? Sometimes. Well then I guess we might be waiting for a while. Maybe. I sigh. What kind of person is Tama's mother anyway? What possessed her to abandon her young daughter? Judging by Tama's responses, this doesn't seem to be a one-off. It must happen on a semi-regular basis. Tama might be a brat, but arguing with her won't get me anywhere. It'll just make the pair of us unhappy. This situation is depressing enough as it is. What with all the rain falling outside my window? Maybe I should do something to cheer us up? Hey Tama, I was wondering, you're not hungry, are you? That's so cute. Tama tries to feign indifference. We are mortal enemies after all, but our intrigue is blatantly obvious. How cute. Indeed. I might be a little bit hungry. Maybe. So that's a yes? Yeah. I was waiting for Mama to come home and make dinner, but she never did. I only bought some bread at the convenience store. I didn't want to ruin my appetite. Mama spends a lot of time cooking, so I try to eat the food she makes, but I don't really like green peppers. Tama whispers the phrase green peppers as though it's some kind of voodoo curse. Oh, at least it's not Brussels sprouts. Do you eat the green peppers your mama makes, Tama? Sometimes. Green peppers are gross, but Mama says they're good for me, so I try. It doesn't always work though. Maybe that's why Mama hasn't come back home. It's because I spit out my green peppers and hide them when she isn't looking. Hide them where? She must know I've been a bad girl. This might be a punishment. Hey, don't be silly, Tama. I'm silly. Yeah, you're not a bad girl. There's no way. Well, she was being quite badly behaved when I dried her hair, but I might be partially to blame for that. I should have been gentler. Spitting your food out is quite naughty, but I can understand your feelings. I don't like green peppers much either. You don't? Nah, they're so bitter. My mom told me I'd learn to like them when I became an adult, but I'm an adult now. In the legal sense, at least. and I still can't stand them. Ah, my mom is the same. She says all adults eat green peppers without complaining. Well, I don't. I see, so my mama was lying. Oof. I don't think she was lying. She was just... Does that mean you're not a real adult, Mitsuki? I do wonder about that sometimes. For an adult, you're not very tall. Ah, stab at my heart. I get that a lot. So, how about the food? I can make you something if you'd like. I might not look it, but I'm a pretty decent cook. I don't know. Mama told me she wouldn't be out too long. I always eat dinner with her. I know that, but your mama isn't back yet, is she? After drying her hair, I asked the reticent Tama to take me to her own apartment. The lights were off, and I thought, and though I knocked on the door, I didn't receive any reply. In the end, I slid a note beneath the door with my apartment number written on it. My reasoning was, let's be positive here, when Tama's mother returns, she'll be able to find her daughter again with ease. With a note with the apartment number, just that? Like... Maybe that could have been a little more detailed. I still haven't seen any sign of her, though. I wonder what's going on. I guess you're right. Mama goes out on her own sometimes, but she usually comes back after a few minutes. Tama glances at the clock hanging on my wall. It's past 7 already, and the sun outside is starting to set. This is going to be a murder mystery after all. I'm worried about her. Oh, the poor thing. As the adult here, I need to try and cheer her up. It's my job, my duty, my responsibility. Maybe this will take her mind off her mother, if nothing else. Alright. I roll up my sleeves and get to my feet. I'm going to start making dinner. Oh, you're really gonna cook for me? That's right, I'll whip up something delicious, and there won't be any green peppers in it either, I promise. I don't know. I should wait for Mama to come back, but, well... I can try your food, Mitsuki, if it isn't too icky. Gee, thanks for the vote of confidence. Guess I'll have to do my very best. Now, what do you think about a nice warm plate of omelette rice? Omurice. Omelette rice. Do you like omurice, Tama? It's one of my favorites. Fair enough, Shonen, fair enough. Ha! I knew it. What little kid doesn't love omurice? I think I've hit onto a winning idea. I just hope Tama's mother comes back soon. There's only so much I can do to keep Tama entertained. And omelette rice won't be enough to fix all our problems. I hate saying omelette. Where is Tama's mother anyway? I feel like I'm always saying it wrong. By the time I finished making Tama's food, the sun is set and the stars have come out to play. I flick on the light, then take a seat by Tama's side at the low table in my living/dining room. So, I set the plate of omurice on the table before my young guest. I only made one portion, but I'm starting to regret it. That omelette rice looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. It does. The omelette is an even yellow color, a little like the pudding you might buy at the convenience store, but less artificial. I once tried to do omelette rice. I did scrambled eggs with rice. It was something. I actively went looking for an omurice recipe. Well, It tasted good. That's all that matters in the end. The smooth, unbroken omelette is topped with ketchup and filled with rice. The rice itself was fried in a wok and it's filled with chopped up bits of sausage, carrot, and peas. True to my words, there's not a single green pepper in sight, whole or diced. Omurice is a little difficult though, since you're essentially making a French omelette. Yeah, and I can't make an omelette, so maybe starting with omurice isn't the best idea, right? But, I don't know. I saw it somewhere in an anime and I really wanted to make it myself. Well, the meal was rather simple to make, and I slapped it together with a few ingredients still in my fridge. I needed to use my eggs before they went rancid, and the carrots had been lying uneaten in the bottom shelf of my fridge for more than a week. I'm not that bad at cooking, but I don't really like cooking for myself. I can't get fired up when I'm the only person who'll eat the finished product. Maybe it sounds spoiled, but if I'm gonna put in the work, I'd like to be complimented for it. What's the point in trying if nobody knows how much effort you've expended? During my time in the city, I've been subsiding mostly on microwavable meals and instant noodles. I bought a bunch of groceries when I first moved in with a lofty idealistic thought that I'd take care of my health and eat 5 fruits or vegetables a day, but that didn't happen. Oh well, at least I had a chance to show off my cooking prowess today. I guess picking up those eggs wasn't a complete waste. Mitsuki! Did you make this yourself? The egg is quite tough to make. There's like a BuzzFeed video about some guy learning how to make omurice by a famous omurice chef. Oh. I must look that up. I don't know if I should try again until I can do an omelette without the rice. I don't know. Maybe it's not easier. Oh, thank you. Pause,
Okay.
pause. No, pause. Thank you. I'll take a look after. Yep. Absolutely. There is zero chance I won't be learning at least something from it. Because I'm not a good cook. It's not that my things taste poorly, it's just that I'm very limited in what I do. That's right. While you were watching your silly kids anime, don't you dare. Pretty Magical Pumpkin is not silly. You should do a grilled cheese stream. Just me grilling cheese. That sounds amazing. Right. I'm sorry. What I meant to say is, while you were watching your very smart and clever kids anime, Pretty Magical Pumpkin isn't just for kids. Adults watch it too. Well, maybe some weirdos do. There's a lot of great stuff. A lot of great stuff is simple. It's the sophisticated stuff that really lets people know. Yeah, omurice isn't sophisticated, so that's why I tried to do it. But I guess it is. It is harder to like flip it and have it be one unit, one consistent unit without rice showing, right? That's hard to do, I think. Mama watches it with me and she isn't a weirdo. Mama likes pumpkin too. She does. I'm sure she does. At least I'm sure that's what she tells Tama. Parents are always lying to their kids, either to shut them up or make them happy. It can work in the short term, but I remember feeling pretty betrayed when I learned Santa wasn't real. Anyway, as I was saying, while you were watching your very smart and clever anime, which can be enjoyed by both adults and children worldwide, I glanced at Tama. This time she doesn't interrupt. Did those amendments make her happy? I was slaving away in the kitchen preparing this meal just for you. It's made from leftovers, but I hope you like it. Leftovers! Tama pokes her fork into the omelet's soft yellow exterior. But it looks like something from a restaurant. Hehe, a 5-star restaurant, no doubt. I don't know about stars, but it looks a lot like the omelettes from Petit Jardin. Ah, Petit Jardin, huh? Are you making me say it 3 fucking times? Petit Jardin is a pretty well-known chain of family restaurants that serve cheap and cheerful meals for kids and beleaguered parents too exhausted to cook for them. Is it? I lived out in the countryside when I was a kid, but whenever I went shopping with my parents in the nearest city, we always stopped by Petit Jardin. I think I celebrated a couple of my birthdays there too. Having my food compared to that of a restaurant isn't bad, I guess, but I'm proud of my cooking. It's pretty much my only skill, and I'd rather have it likened to something a little more classy. Oh well, it's only omelette rice. What can you expect? To a little kid like Tama, Petit Jardin is probably the epitome of fine dining. Well, I'm glad you think it looks good. It looks too good. You didn't buy this from a store, did you? Of course not. I didn't leave this apartment. You saw me. I would never be irresponsible enough to leave a little kid in here on her own. Who do you think I am, your mother? Oof. Maybe you didn't leave, but you could have called somebody to bring the food to you. I know all about that, you see. I'm not stupid, and you can't trick me. Yep, Mom. I guess. It's called home delivery. Haha. That's very clever, Tama, but this isn't delivery food. Nobody knocked on the door and you didn't see anybody else entering this room, right? Well, no, but I made this food myself and I made it just for you. Really? That's right. You made it for me. That's what I said I was gonna do, isn't it? But I said lots of mean things to you. That's alright, I forgive you. You said mean things to me because I was mean to you first. I cooked for you because I wanted to make you feel better. Think of it as an apology. I don't want you to be sad. It would be much better if we could both be friends again, right? We can be friends? Sure we can. You're the one who said it first. I don't want you to hate me, so I tried my best. Now, why don't you try some of your food? Omelette rice tastes the most delicious when it's still warm. You have to hurry. Ah, that's right. Have to hurry. Chanting this under her breath, Tama picks up her fork and plunges its prongs into the side of the omelette. The omelette breaks beneath the force of Tama's fury and steam escapes from the heart of my culinary creation. Tama's nostrils twitch like a rabbit's. She swallows. And then? Gocho-sama. Thank you for the food. I guess it's itadakimasu in this one. She scoops a forkful of rice and omelette with a generous amount of ketchup up to her lips. Her motions with the fork are a little awkward, and she drops a few kernels of rice back onto her plate while she's blowing on her food. I guess she isn't the most skilled with a knife and fork, but her effort is valiant nonetheless. Awkwardly, she slides the fork into her mouth. She chews. While she chews, pushing her food from one cheek to the other, I watch. I wait. I know my food looks good, but what about the taste? I hope it's to her liking. And then, to my immense relief, I got a trophy for the Omurice. The Omurice trophy is the best one. I think I played a game by this developer before. It might have been Strawberry Panic. Strawberry Panic? That's an anime. Strawberry what? Strawberry. Strawberry vinegar. It might have been that. It really is delicious. Do you like it? Yeah. It tastes just as good, no better, than the omelette rice at Petit Jardin. Strawberry vinegar? It's a name. Doesn't mean. I guess it just means that it was a sweet but sour story. I don't know. Is strawberry vinegar an actual thing? I don't think so. At least I never heard of it. Well, I'm glad my handmade food is better than the frozen, pre-packaged omelets they serve there. Thomas scoops up another forkful of rice and chews. This is amazing. I didn't even know guys could cook. Sure we can, if we work at it. Everything gets easier with practice. We have cooking classes at school sometimes, but the boys always complain. Keiichi says only girls wear aprons. Sounds like this Keiichi will make a very attractive husband later on in life. What do you mean? Nothing, just talking to myself. What do you make in cookery class anyway? Last time we made fruit salad. Ah, fruit salad. I think I made that back in elementary school too. I wasn't very good at it. You're much better at cooking than I am, Mitsuki. I wasn't very good at it. Well, I am older than you. I guess. You know what? What? I think your cooking might be even better than my mama's. Your mother's? Then his I praise. I don't think so. She knows all about delivery. Food delivery. So... her mom might not be very good. Mama tries to cook every day, but she doesn't always have the time. She's always busy at work. Mama frowns. Maybe she'd like this omelet too. Maybe it would make her happy. I should save some for her when she comes back home. If she comes back home. Tama bows her head, shoulders slumped. All of a sudden she looks utterly drained. Her expression is even cloudier than the evening sky outside my apartment. She really must be worried about her mom, huh? Usually it's the other way around. Aren't parents supposed to worry about their kids instead? I glance at the clock on my wall. It's almost 8 now and it's pitch black outside. Where in the world is Tama's mother? She's been gone for hours. Tama, are you alright? Actually, that's one thing, I think I asked and Melty isn't familiar. Shonen, do you know Crayon Shin-chan? It's a long-running anime series, like 1,000 episodes or something. Yeah. Watched it all the time as a kid. Okay. That's still ongoing, by the way. I just found that out last month. Like, I always found it super weird that he was alone at home many times. As a 5-year-old, I always thought that was a little weird. Did the creator die? I did not know that. I know the TV show is still ongoing, or it's still marked as ongoing. A couple of years ago, I didn't know. Did the manga stop and the TV continue? But yeah, is it common to just leave kids at home, or are they forced to be responsible to stay at home as they are young, or was that just a bad example because comedy show? Tama, are you all right? I'm fine. You look kind of down. I said I'm fine. I'm not even sad. Because I know Shin-chan is supposed to poke fun and deconstruct the sort of behavior that is expected of the Japanese society, and like not just kids, but like because his behavior changes the behavior of the adults to something that is not socially acceptable oftentimes. Some kids stay at home when they're young. Heck, some middle schoolers live in an apartment alone to attend their school. Holy shit. Middle schoolers, though. Who pays for it? The original run of Shin-chan ended in 2010. New Shin-chan is still continuing on. Oh. I guess it was, it only counted as one on, in my database. Yeah, enemy database says 1992 until nothing. Probably there was a break and I didn't notice. No. Usually it's like a sort of dorm kind of thing, so it's an apartment building owned by the school but very little authority. Creator Shin-chan died in like 2009. Okay. It's so weird to find people died and you had no idea who they were from before they died. When you discover them, they're already dead. It's kind of weird. 1,098 episodes. It's more than One Piece. How many episodes does One Piece have right now? $996? Oh my god, the 1,000 is so close. He's making good progress on One Piece. Last I heard, he was on chapter 80. He's reading it? Interesting. You know, I'm very partial to the anime in One Piece. I think I would skip. I would skip. I would change to reading only on the time skip, and then eventually go back to the anime after Dressrosa. There was a time there between the time skip and the end of Dressrosa. There are movies that truncate the beginning of One Piece by a lot, right? They just summarize it so well. No? There's a movie which is the Nami arc, I think. And then there's one for Vivi and one for Chopper. But they're not like... I think the Nami... I think it's the Nami one that has Chopper already part of the crew or something. There's something like that. There's one of them that has a crewmate that only joins in the future. It can't be the Vivi one because Robin is an enemy still. So I think it's the Nami one. To be honest, I don't remember exactly. But the animation is on One Piece is like movie quality. It is worth watching. There was I think there was a bad period. One Piece is amazing, Melty. You should totally give it a shot. There was a bad period for me when the anime was basically adapting one chapter of the manga per episode, so it felt like things were stretched out. But people complained, I think, and they did away with that. So it was just a bad period, like 20 episodes or 20 to 50 episodes. Which isn't a lot in One Piece terms, I guess. But a One Piece chapter is how many pages? Like 18. Yeah, it's not enough for an episode. Definitely not. It was dragged out. But One Piece is the one show where I have watched a filler arc and thought to myself, oh my god, I am so happy I watched this filler and they made it. Which is something that you should never think. That it's just not something you normally think about anything. I don't know if did you watch the anime, Shonen? From the start? Only read it, okay. So in the anime, when they return from Skypiea, instead of the ship falling on the sea and them continuing the journey, the ship falls in the middle of a navy base. So it's like it's like one of those bases that is circular, so it just falls inside it. Like everyone is, oh my god, a pirate ship just fell from the sky. And the crew is, oh, I guess we're in a marine base. We gotta get out of the ship before we're all arrested. So basically, they disguise themselves as Marines, and it's a bunch of episodes of them trying to find a way out, disguised as Marines, blending in, which they don't. Obviously, they don't blend in at all. It's the funniest shit. It's so good. I'll never forget that filler. It's complete shenanigans from beginning to end. No fights. It's just shenanigans. Shenanigans with the Straw Hat crew. What else can you want, right? I said I'm fine. I'm not even sad. Crying will make the food taste salty, so I can't cry. I don't want to ruin my meal. Tama scoops up another forkful of rice and stuffs it into her mouth, then another, and another. She's eating so quickly her cheeks are starting to puff out like a hamster's. Maybe she's trying to drown her sorrow in carbohydrates. We've all been there. But if she keeps this up, she'll make herself sick. Hey, slow down. You'll... Ah! I guess my warning came a little too late. I reach across the table and pat Tom on the back. I don't want to hit her too hard. She's a young girl, not a baseball. I don't want her to asphyxiate in my apartment. That would be pretty hard to explain in court. Though, Death by Omu Rice does have a certain ring to it. Maybe it would make a good name for a band? Actually, yes. By this point, Tama's coughs have started to subside. I let my hand fall from her back and look at her concerned. Are you alright, Tama? Do you feel better? A little. Thank you, Mitsuki. It's no problem. Your big brother's here to look out for you. Oni-chan. Crap, did I just say something incredibly corny? Let's try and change the subject. You should chew your food before you swallow it, Tama. Didn't your mother tell you that? She did, but I couldn't help it. I was so hungry and this food tastes so good. I'm glad you like my food, but it's not worth dying over. You worried me for a second there. I did? Yeah, you're in my house, so you're under my protection. I need to look after you. Honestly. When it comes to kids, you can't take your eyes off them, not for a second. Yep, don't leave them alone at home. I'm sorry, Mitsuki. I'll try to be more careful. I don't want to make anybody worry about me. I don't want to get in the way. But I do anyways. Maybe that's why Mama isn't coming back. Tama. This atmosphere is getting a little too heavy. The sound of falling rain outside my window doesn't help. Tama's annoying when she's screaming and pouting and making fun of me, but I found even that preferable to her tears. I don't want her to be sad. Seeing her so wan and withdrawn, her lower lip trembling, is breaking my heart. I can't stand it. How could her mother abandon her like this? She must be a cruel, heartless person. When I see her, if I see her, I'd like to give her a piece of my mind. I'll stride right up to her and I'll tell her. Oh, hello? Hello? Is anybody there? Sorry to bother you, but it's cold and wet out here, and I can't help myself. Oh, I'm so worried. If you're here, please let me in. My name is Himuro, and I'm looking for my daughter. Well, I guess she wasn't killed. Kyoko? Tama's mother doesn't look quite how I imagine her. I was picturing a grumpy, ill-tempered woman like an evil stepmother from a fairy tale, content to leave her poor young girl in the cold and the rain. But the actual woman in my apartment, kneeling at my low wooden table, is the complete opposite of that. Tama's mother, Himuro, did she say her name was, is hardly an evil, twisted old stepmother. For one thing, she's Tama's birth mother, and for another, there aren't any wrinkles. There are no gray hairs. There might be some purplish blue bags that look like bruises beneath her eyes, and her skin might be a touch too pale, but other than that, she doesn't look a day over 25. She's probably around the same age as I am, maybe a couple of years older, give or take. Am I going from Oni-chan to Otosan? I can't exactly call her fresh-faced. She looks too tired for that, but there's something kind of soft about her, I guess. If I had to sum up her looks in a single word, it would probably be pretty. She's not breathtakingly, ridiculously gorgeous like a Hollywood actress on the big screen, but I kinda prefer that. It makes her seem a bit more approachable, and besides, most people don't have teams of makeup artists following them around all day. We can't all aspire to be like Scarlett Johansson, and it's just not realistic. Can you use the Scarlett Johansson name? I guess it's a public person. Himuro sips the green tea I served her in a measured, ladylike way. Her lips, she isn't wearing lipstick, press against the rim of the cup like two flower petals. Her motions are very graceful, and watching her drink is starting to make me feel thirsty. She'd probably boost sales if she appeared in adverts. Why didn't I make myself an extra cup of tea anyway? I guess I got so caught up in the not Scarlett Johansson's down-to-earth beauty I just forgot. Mama, I missed you. Tama leans against her mother's side, nuzzling her head against her shoulder like a little lion cub. Tama. Himuro's tired eyes, which look older than the rest of her face, crinkle with relief. She sets her cup of tea on the table with a well-practiced motion. Did she study tea ceremony as a kid or something? What's with this perfect poise? And smiles at her daughter. I'm sorry I got back so late. I really am. You must have been worried sick. It's okay, Mama. I wasn't worried. Not one bit. That little liar. Himuro looks just as skeptical as I am because she purses her lips together and frowns. Are you sure you weren't worried? Well, maybe a little, but I wasn't lonely. I was with Mitsuki the whole time. Mitsuki? You mean Mr. Tanimura? That's me. You can just call me Mitsuki though. Mr. Tanimura sounds kind of, you know. Oh, I see then. Mitsuki? Is it? Mitsuki. Huh? Somehow the transition from family name to given name feels far too fast. I've only known you for 5 minutes. Don't you think we should slow things down a notch? That's what I want to say, but since I'm the one who suggested we eschew formalities in the first place, it would probably sound ridiculous. Hey, Mitsuki? Tama, still glued to her mother's side like a kernel of sticky rice, blinks at me curiously. Your face has gone all red. It has? Yeah, you didn't get sunburned, did you? No, I'm fine, haha. Maybe I should change the subject. That sounds pretty good right about now. So, Himuro. If you want me to call you Mitsuki, you should probably use my given name too. It would feel awkward otherwise. I don't mind either way, but if that would make you feel more comfortable, then... Well, I don't mind really. With a small, soft smile, Himuro brushes a few strands of dark hair behind her ear. I'm Kyoko. Kyoko. I taste her name on my tongue. Kyoko is a pretty normal name, in fact. It's so benign that it might be a bit disappointing, but I think it suits her. Really? Himuro Kyoko. I guess that would make her daughter Himuro Tama. I know Kyoko is a bit old-fashioned now. My parents have always been rather traditional, you see. I'm a little ashamed that she managed to figure me out. Are my thoughts that transparent? Then I hurriedly try to reassure her. Hey, there's nothing wrong with Kyoko. I think it's pretty. You do? Yeah, the name suits you. I mean, you're pretty too. Ah. The moment I realize what I've said, my face turns pale. I probably should have kept that on the down low. I don't want Kyoko to think I'm being too forward. And yet, to my relief... Kyoko places one hand to her mouth, her fingers curl together and giggles. She's laughing at me. As if this couldn't be any more embarrassing. Why are you laughing, Mama? Did Mitsuki say something funny? It's nothing really. I just... I'm sorry, Mitsuki. I wasn't laughing at you. I just thought it was rather charming. How earnest you were. Well, thanks. And I was worried you'd get mad at me. Why would I do a thing like that? Well, I don't know. We're total strangers and all, and I guess I was being a bit forward. Maybe, but if you live in this apartment, that would make us neighbors of a sort. I'd be happy if we could get along in the future, and I'm glad you think I'm pretty. No problem. So, Tama's your daughter, right? That's right, Tama's my precious daughter, and I love her a lot. I was so worried about her, but it seems my worries were in vain. Thank you for taking care of her, Mitsuki. Oh, it's no problem. Anybody would have done the same thing. I'm not sure about that. People can be rather uncaring. Tama and I have lived in this apartment block for many years now, but I still haven't made any friends here. Most people look the other way when they see us. I'm sure they have their own lives to worry about, but a simple good morning would hardly hurt. Kyoko sighs and shakes her head. Well, I'm pleased it was a kind man like yourself who found my Tama. I'm not sure what I would have done if I couldn't find her. I'm fine, Mama. Mitsuki was really super nice to me. He helped me look for Mikey, and then he let me watch TV in his apartment. And then... Tama pauses. She puffs out her cheeks in defiance, her arms folded. He bullied me a little, but I let him know I wasn't gonna stand for that, and then he made me rise to apologize. He bullied you? I dried her hair, or tried to. We got caught in the rain, and Tama was wet through. Oh, I see. Tama's quite stubborn about things like that. She hates having baths, too. I found that out the hard way. She was squirming so much she nearly put out one of my eyes. I apologize on my daughter's behalf, then. Though that must have been funny to watch. I wonder if Kyoko usually laughs this often. She doesn't look like the type. She must be relieved that Tama's alright. I can tell at a glance that Kyoko really does love her daughter. That being the case, why did she leave Tama on her own for so long? She was gone for 4 hours. Perhaps Kyoko notices the crease in my brow because she sighs softly, her gentle laughter evaporating like morning dew. I didn't mean to be gone for so long. A simple trip to the supermarket turned into quite the ordeal. I picked Tama up from school when my shift at work finished. I was planning to make her beef over rice, but we'd run out of beef and ginger. Actually, I didn't take a screenshot of this character model. I don't like leaving Tama at home on her own, but she was tired and she said she wanted to stay in and watch TV. I thought about bringing her with me, but I didn't want to disrupt her. It probably would have led to a temper tantrum. I told myself it didn't matter, and I'd only be gone a few minutes. The plaintive expression on Kyoko's face tells me that this isn't what happened. Well, that and the fact I found Tama crying in the playground a few hours ago. On the way to the convenience store there was an incident. The long pause before she settles on the word incident piques my interest. I lean against the table, curious. What happened? I'm making it sound worse than it was. I'm alright now, really, though I was a bit shaken at the time. You see, a man bumped into me when I was waiting to cross the road. I didn't think it was anything serious at first, just a simple mistake, but then I looked down and realized my bag had gone missing. You mean he stole it? That's right, don't worry, it didn't hurt me. I was so shocked I couldn't move. I stood there frozen and shouted, "Wait, thief! He's taken my bag!" Looking back on it, it's a little embarrassing. Normally I would never dream of causing a scene like that, especially in public, but it was the only way to stop the thief. I knew I'd never be able to chase him down on my own. My bag had my phone and my wallet and my keys inside. So they both lost their keys. You were right to shout out. You shouldn't have to worry about inconveniencing other people. You were the one who was inconvenienced. Though inconvenienced might be something of an understatement. So what happened next? The guy was caught, right? That's right. A kind passerby heard my cries, saw the perpetrator running away, and she deduced what had happened. She restrained the thief for me and got my bag back. I would have been content to let it go at that. I needed to buy my groceries and I was worried about Tama, but the woman who helped me called the police. Kyoko sighs. I appreciated the help, of course, but I wish she hadn't bothered. I had to wait until the police arrived on the scene, and then they took me back to the nearest station so I could write out a statement. It all took a very long time, and I was so exhausted by the end of it. I kept looking at the clock, wondering when I could leave. I kept thinking about Tama all by herself, waiting for me. I was so worried. If you knew you were going to be gone for a long time, couldn't you have called somebody to look after Tama? I would have, but I don't know anybody who would be willing to lend a hand. What about your parents? Wouldn't they help? My parents? Oh no. Kyoko laughs bitterly. My mother might, perhaps, if she weren't wedged so firmly under my father's thumb. But it doesn't matter. The two of them live in Shizuoka. It's too far away. Then what about your friends? If I had any friends, of course I would have asked them to look after my little girl. But, like I said, everyone in this apartment avoids me. They act like I'm some kind of leper. My work colleagues and the mothers who drop their kids off at Tama's school aren't much better. I see. Does that mean Kyoko and Tama are all alone out here? Perhaps we aren't so dissimilar after all. The policemen were very nice. They mistook my anxiety about Tama for worries about my stolen bag. They kept asking me if I was alright and offering me cups of tea, but it didn't make me feel better. I didn't know how to tell them I was worried about my daughter. I was afraid if they knew I left my daughter at home on her own, I'd be charged with negligence. And I suppose that would be fair. I was being negligent. I probably deserve to be punished. We can arrange that. That thief inconvenienced me, yes, but I committed an even bigger crime this evening. Oshioki time. Hey, don't be so down on yourself. You didn't know your bag was going to get stolen when you went out. But I shouldn't have gone out on my own to begin with. If I hadn't left Tama behind, none of this would have happened. I really am a poor excuse for a mother. I hope you can forgive me. Kyoko bows her head in subjugation, but this gesture only serves to make me sigh. Why is she apologizing to me anyway? You don't need to do that, you know, I'm not angry with you. But it's because of my carelessness that you had to look after my little girl. It would be perfectly understandable if you were mad. But I'm not, so you don't need to worry about it. If you really want to know my opinion, I think you're being way too hard on yourself. Really? That's right. Is she though? I like this expression more, by the way. Your bag was stolen in the middle of the street, but instead of being angry, you were afraid of bothering people with your problems. The criminal who took your bag was caught, but you were more worried about returning home to your daughter than pressing any charges. When the police questioned you, you felt as though you were the one who committed a crime instead. And now you're trying to apologize to me after everything you've been through? I don't get it. But I imposed on you. You had to look after Tama in my stead. You never asked me to look after her. I did it on my own free will. Because I wanted to. I'm glad I was able to help out. If anything, I should be thanking you. Huh? What do you mean by that exactly? I mean, well, in a way, I think I'm like you. You are? I've only been living in Kawasaki for a little while, but I still don't know any of the people who live in this apartment. I haven't made any friends, and my family all live out in Aomori. I thought I was gonna be on my own out here. I already tried to make peace with that idea. Until today. First, I met Tama, and then I met you. You're the first person who's come into my apartment as a guest, and you're the first person I've been able to serve tea to. I know we're still strangers, but we live in the same building. Like you said, that makes us neighbors, and I draw in a deep breath and bow my head. I'm happy I was able to meet you, Kyoko. It's all thanks to her that this cold rainy evening, which was shaping up to be a total write-off, ended up a touch less lonely than per usual. I think that's something to be happy about. Kyoko blinks at me for a few moments, perhaps unsure of what to say. She frowns. Her lips burst before... Oh, Mitsuki. A very small smile, thin as a piece of thread, captures her lips. Thank you for reassuring me. I'm happy to know there's no ill will between us because of this. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm glad I was able to meet you too. I had no idea I had such a reliable, wonderful person living so close to me. Wonderful, huh? I'm not sure I'd go quite that far. And I don't think Kyoko really needs to bow to me either. It's not like I'm an emperor or anything. I'm just plain old Tanimura Mitsuki, not the actress, but some painfully average guy who still hasn't graduated from university, despite being in his early 20s. I'm nothing special. Certainly nothing to write home about. I'm just one of the many that drifts through life aimlessly, like a goldfish in a bowl. But I felt slightly less useless today than I usually do. It's not a huge milestone in my shiny new life DM, but it's a milestone all the same, and I'm glad today happened. Finally, for the first time since I moved to the city, I might have managed to make a friend. Oh, there's an opening. Oof. Spoilers? I feel like this is a really cultured game. Throw would love this. I think so too. It's better than David's Final Fantasy XIV gameplay. Well, everything is better than that. Yet, despite these idle fancies, I don't see Kyoko or Tama again. Oh, it's over. Well, that's the game over, guys. Well, let me take a quick break. I'll be right back. What did you do? Nothing. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's keep going. The days tick by idly, marked by the date displayed on the lower right-hand corner of my second-hand laptop. I attend cram school during the weekdays, then stagnate in my room when the weekend arrives. I should probably start looking for a part-time job. The savings I scraped together after helping my dad in his store are going to run out eventually, and I'd rather not stand idle until that happens. Though this apartment is pretty cheap, it still takes a chunk of my finances each month. And yet, despite the ever-pressing concern of bankruptcy, I don't do anything. I have to force myself to get out of my futon in the mornings, and the commute via train to my cram school is nothing short of miserable. At least I'm still leaving my apartment. That's something. I haven't become a total shut-in just yet. I'm doing the bare minimum it takes for a person to survive, but when I left for the city I didn't want to do the bare minimum. I told myself I was going to work harder than ever, get into a good university, and make something of myself. I wanted to succeed. It's a shame making resolutions inside one's own head isn't enough to change anything. Actions speak louder than words, and words are worth more than thoughts ever will be. Sometimes I almost feel like giving up. I know, even if I don't get into a good university, or any university at all, my parents will welcome me back home with open arms. No matter what happens, they'll believe I tried my best. That's because they trust me. My mother calls me every other day, asking how I am, and she sounds so excited about my future I'm forced to tell barefaced lies to hide my shame. Oh yeah, it's going great. I'm doing really well. Big city's kind of overwhelming, but I'm having a lot of fun. If by fun you mean sitting around in my tiny room eating instant noodles, I'm really living the dream. My neighbors don't talk to me, my classmates don't look at me. I have nobody to spend time with and nothing to do. I wish something would come and break up the monotony of my dull life. Anything. But I'm greeted instead by a big, resounding nothing. Nothing. Until today. I'm lying on the tatami floor like usual, staring up at the ceiling. I don't know how long I've been lying down, and, perhaps more worryingly, I don't care. A little voice in the back of my mind nags me. It tells me to get up and do something productive, like studying, or cooking dinner, or looking for job openings online. I could even do jumping jacks, though that would probably bother the people who live in the room downstairs. Anything would be better than lying here stagnating. I can't afford to do nothing for much longer though, because somebody's knocking on my front door. Somebody actually wants to talk to me. Have you a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? I don't know anybody in this apartment complex other than Kyoko and Tama, so logic dictates that it must be them. I sit up, excitement bubbling in the pit of my stomach until... Of course not, don't be stupid. My anticipation withers. Why am I getting so worked up? Am I really that desperate for human company? There are absolutely no guarantees it's Kyoko standing on my doorstep. She has no reason to talk to me again. Not now, Tama's recovered. It's more than likely a salesperson. Don't let yourself get too excited. You'll just end up disappointed. That's how life is. I lie back down like an upturned turtle, waiting for the knocking to die down and the unknown visitor to take their leave when... I hear the knocking again. It sounds even more insistent this time. If it really is a salesperson, they're certainly keen. Well, I think judiciously. If they want to talk to me that madly, maybe I can oblige. Who knows, seeing somebody just as desperate as I am might cheer me up, if only for a few fleeting moments. Alright, I'm coming, just wait a sec. I pad over to the front door, shuffling in my indoor slippers, a gift from my parents before I moved out, along with an underutilized rice cooker, and reach out for the handle. The lock clicks. I pulled the door open, expecting nothing but disappointment. Why should it be anything else? And... Yay, it's Mitsuki again! Feels like it's been ages! Tama? That's my name! I know that's your name, I wasn't asking. I was just wondering. What are you doing here? Mama brought me here. Come and say hi, Mama. Come on! Tama, I told you not to run on ahead like that. You could trip and hurt yourself. But I didn't hurt myself, so I'm fine. Ah, the irrefutable logic of a child. I'm almost impressed by how brazen it is. Anyway, I wanted to see Mitsuki. It's been so long. Well, it's nice to know somebody missed me. It's been a while, yes, but you shouldn't bang on his door like that. It's rude. I hope we're not imposing on you, Mitsuki. Kyoko looks at me anxiously, a plastic bag held in her hand. Now I wonder what's inside it. Oh no, you're not imposing at all. You could never impose. I was just wondering, crap, I wish I'd worn some nicer clothes. Kyoko's going to think I'm a slob, stumbling to the door in this old shirt. To what do I owe the pleasure? Well, I know you said you didn't need to apologize, but I didn't need to apologize. But after everything that happened last week, I thought it would be prudent to... Hey Mitsuki, I'm gonna watch TV, okay? Pretty Magical Pumpkin is on. Tama snakes around me, a devilish grin on her face, and dashes into my inner sanctum. She didn't even take her shoes off. What? What a brat. She's going to leave dirty footprints all over my floor. It's not like I'm the most house-proud guy around and my apartment is a bit of a dump, but I don't want her making it dirtier than it already is. Hey Tama, you need to take off your shoes before you enter somebody's house. Haven't I told you that before? This isn't a real house, it's just a tiny little room. Be that as it may, you still need to observe basic manners. I don't want Mr. Tanimura to think that you're a rude girl. He isn't Mr. Tanimura, he's just plain old Mitsuki. Either way, I'd like you to show him a little bit of respect, young lady. I'm not a lady, I'm just a kid. Exactly, you're my kid, and if you don't listen to me, you'll be eating green peppers for the rest of the week. But I hate green peppers. Then you'd better take your shoes off. Boo, you're mean, Mama's mean. I can be much, much meaner, just try me. Tama's face turns pale. She bends down suddenly, the picture of obedience, and begins to remove her shoes. Then she lines them up neatly next to my own worn sneakers. How's that? Did I do a good job? You did. Good girl. Does that mean I don't have to eat the green peppers? You still need to eat your green peppers, Tama, but I'll make an exception tonight. Yay! Mama's the best! This girl. Her moods sure are mercurial. Are all children this easily placated? Now, what do you say to Mitsuki? I'm sorry for being a bad girl, Mitsuki. I won't wear my shoes in your house ever again. Even if your place is tiny and the floor is already dirty and it's not really a real house. Tama, you shouldn't say things like that. Don't worry about it too much, Kyoko. I don't mind. I'm just glad to see Tama in such high spirits. Really, I'm glad for any human contact at all. When did I become so pathetic? See, Mama, Mitsuki says he doesn't mind. That means I can be as messy as I want. No, it does not mean that, and Mitsuki might not mind what I do. Be on your best behavior. Please. Ooh, that sounds boring, but if I don't gotta eat green peppers tonight, I'll do my best. Good girl. There's dirt on my monitor. Kyoko sighs and presses her fingers against her temple. It was right in Kyoko's face. Tama can be such a handful sometimes. She has far too much energy for her own good. Her poor mama can't keep up with her. Having a kid must be rough. You have no idea. Well, I feel kind of bad making you wait by the door like that. Do you want to come in? Oh, I only intended to visit for a short while, but... Kyoko glances over my shoulder, her shoes now lined up. Tama has retreated once more into my room. She's sitting on the floor, cross-legged, flipping through the channels with my remote. Kyoko sighs. I suppose my daughter has other ideas. You don't mind, do you? Of course not. Like I said, I'm happy to see you. It would be no exaggeration to say I really couldn't be happier. Now, why don't I make you a cup of green tea? Once again, I really am sorry for bothering you. And like I said, it's no bother at all. I smile at Kyoko and place a freshly brewed cup of green tea down before her. Be careful, it's hot. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Kyoko brings the cup to her lips, her fingers perfectly still and steady, then blows on the steamy surface of the tea before taking a sip. As the seconds pass, a relaxing atmosphere begins to settle inside my apartment. The low, tiny sound of the television hums in the background. Not tiny. Teeny? What is that word? Coupled with Tama's excited whoops. Steam rises from the inside of Kyoko's teacup, coiling and shifting like something alive. The aroma of green tea powder lingers in the air. It's a warm, relaxing kind of smell that reminds me of home. So, I'm a little curious. Why did you come to see me, Kyoko? Well, it's like I said earlier. I wanted to apologize for inconveniencing you the other day. Though you already told me that's unnecessary. I don't consider what you did an inconvenience. Yes, well, that's very sweet of you. I think you might be rather too sweet, though. Too sweet? Is that even possible? I thought girls were supposed to have separate stomach for desserts. Sadly, I don't eat desserts very much. You mean you don't like them? I do, but I'm old enough to have some self-control. The one with the incorrigible sweet tooth would be Tama over there. I prefer traditional Japanese sweets to pastries and cakes anyway. But to get back to the matter at hand, I thought it would be only polite if I repaid you in some manner. I know this isn't much, but Kyoko opens the plastic bag she brought with her and procures something from its depths with a rustle. Here. She holds out the gift to me and I look at it curiously. There, resting in Kyoko's hands, is a small, neatly wrapped box. It looks about the size of a lunchbox. The handkerchief that wraps around the mystery item is rather cute. It's pale pink and decorated with cartoon cat faces. I wonder if Kyoko bundles Tama's lunch up in handkerchiefs like this when she sends her off to school. Or maybe Tama eats school lunches instead. It might be easier for Kyoko to cope with being a single mother and all. Oh well, let's not read into this too much. You really didn't need to make me anything, but thank you all the same. I accept the box from Kyoko with a polite smile and unwrap it. The lid of the box is tightly sealed, and it's hard to see what exactly it contains, but its contents look kind of brown, or maybe orange? I hope you like it. Thank you, I'm sure I will, but I have one question. Oh, what? I hope I don't sound stupid, but what's in this box exactly? It's kimpira. Kimpira? Chopped burdock root and carrot with some lotus thrown in too. It's burdock and carrot. You know who those are. Straight out of Planet Vegeta. Oh no, I know what Kimpira is. I was just a little surprised. Oh? Kyoko dips her head shyly, hiding behind her loose hair. It's fine, really. Kimpira feels kind of nostalgic, that's all. Nostalgic? My mother used to make it for me before I pause. I'm not sure I want to talk about the accident right now. Anyway, it was a dish we ate at home a lot. I haven't had it since I came here. It reminds me of my family. As does the comforting smell of green tea that continues to permeate the air. Green tea and Kimpira, huh? If I could hear the chirping of the cicadas in the background, it would be like I never left Aomori. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. It's no problem. Tama told me you were quite the cook, so I thought you might be able to use this as some sort of side dish. Then again, Kyoko's smile takes on a rueful edge. If you're as good at cooking as Tama said, you probably won't have any use for it. I've been quite busy with work lately, and I don't have enough time to cook. I'm not very good at it either. I have a habit of burning simple meals, and I'm not good at measuring out ingredients, and sometimes I nick myself with a knife when I'm cutting vegetables. Not that I cut myself when I was making this Kimpira. Of course, I was careful I'd never be so careless as to bleed all over a present. But if I'm being quite honest, your cooking probably tastes better than mine. That's right. Mitsuki's rice omelette was much, much, much more delicious than yours. Is that so? It's true. It's totally true. Mitsuki's food tastes like something you'd get in a real restaurant. I bet Mitsuki would never forget about the rice in the cooker or cry when he peels onions. Tama, you're so cruel. Are you trying to punish me for all the times I've made you eat green peppers? I'm not trying to punish you, I'm being a good girl. How is making fun of my cooking being good? You told me to always tell the truth, so I'm telling it. Mitsuki's cooking is better than yours, that's the truth. Tama beams brightly and puffs out her chest with nary a shred of guilt. I'm not sure this little demon understands she's done anything to feel guilty about in the first place. Looks his head at the door and glances around. Hey, Tro. Children sure are scary. In fact, Mitsuki's omelette rice was even tastier than the omelette rice in Petit Jardin. Well, I'm glad. That does sound wonderful, but now I'm even more uncertain about my present. Kyoko heaves a heavy sigh, her head hanging. Maybe I should ask for that Kimpira back. Oh no, you don't. You gave it to me as a present, and I want to eat every last bite of it. Well, what if it isn't good? I mightn't have seasoned it enough, and I know I didn't cut the vegetables evenly. How's it going, Tro? It's fine. I'm sure I'll love it all the same. You can't know that until you've tried it. Hey, don't worry too much. I'm sure it will be good. I don't know if that makes me feel any better. Kimpira is supposed to be a simple dish. That's why I decided to make it. I thought it would be impossible to mess up, but now I'm starting to doubt myself. I wanted to do something kind for you, but it feels like I'm imposing instead. And I already said you aren't. I don't mind at all. You're very kind, Mitsuki, but I wish there was something more I could do for you. Please don't address me, I'm here in observation on it. Alright. You've done more than enough already. I wonder. Kyoko looks at my tabletop. Her visit was so sudden and unexpected, I didn't get a chance to clean up before she arrived. And it's strewn with open English textbooks and my own notebooks from class. What's all this? Oh, it's nothing. I've just been studying a little, that's all. Which is a bald-faced lie, but leaving my books on the table and telling myself I'll get around to studying eventually kind of counts, doesn't it? Hopefully? Probably not. Are you preparing for the university entrance exams next year by any chance? That's right. I laugh awkwardly, not knowing what else to do, and run a hand through my hair. As you can see, I still haven't gotten into university even though I'm so old. I'm a little behind my peers. Old? Kyoko frowns. You don't look old to me. I thought you were only 18. Well, thanks. I'm not sure if I should feel happy about that or not. If you want to know the truth, I'm actually 23. 23? I bet Kyoko thinks I'm some kind of loser now. I've just ruined my chances with her. Not that I had a chance to begin with, but if I did, that ship has totally sailed and sunk now. That's right, you heard me. I'm 23 years old and I still haven't gone to university. It's pretty pathetic, huh? Oh no, I don't think that at all. Everybody moves at a different pace and our lives can lead us in unexpected directions. I never judge anybody based on their academic background. It would be highly hypocritical of me. I have no right to look down on you or anybody else. It doesn't matter when you go to university or if you go at all. That doesn't determine your worth as a person. I think it's impressive that you're still trying to achieve your goals. That's the most important thing. I know Kyoko means well, but her words of encouragement make me feel even more depressed. Trying. She thinks I'm trying. I might be able to lie to my mother about the effort I'm expending on my studies, which is in reality a big fat zero. But to Kyoko? How could I ever hope to deceive her when she's sitting in my living room, at the opposite end of my table, looking at me with almost motherly concern? It isn't possible. I can't lie to her. I don't want to. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself, so I give in. I don't know if trying is the right word. I'm not sure how well my studies are going, really. No, that isn't true. I know exactly how well everything's going. I eye the open textbooks on my table. It's going terribly. Terribly? That's right. I haven't been to school in almost 5 years. I was busy helping my parents out back in Aomori. It's not like I resent them for it, but I kind of forgot how to study. You were helping your parents? That's right. This may be a personal question, but might I ask what you were helping them with? It's a long story, and it's probably not very interesting. That isn't true. I'd like to know more about you, Mitsuki. I'm sure I won't be bored. I don't have many opportunities to talk with our neighbors, so I'd like it if I could learn a little more about you. Besides, it isn't good to bottle things up. Getting in the shower, you know how this works by now. No, I gotta read this. I can't just have a dissertation. When she asks me like that, how can I refuse? You'd have to be some kind of monster to say no to that face. You've got me. She's got me in more ways than one. I don't think my heart's had such a rigorous workout in years. You say you're interested now, but I don't want to keep you here for hours and hours, so I'll try to sum things up. You see, when I was in my last year of high school, my mom got into a pretty serious accident. I didn't really want to talk about the accident, but now it's out in the open. I feel strangely relieved. Maybe I've been trying to bury the past for too long. The truth was painful, so I hid it away in my heart. But hiding the truth doesn't change the past. Nothing can do that. It's already too late. She was hit by a car when she was crossing the road. It was pretty serious too. She was taken to the hospital and the doctors didn't think she'd survive. They were wrong. My mom recovered, but she was in a critical state for a while. It was pretty scary. My mom was always such a strong, lively woman, but she was reduced to an invalid in a matter of seconds. I clenched my fists together beneath the table. It's been 5 years, but I still haven't forgiven that reckless driver, whoever they were. That's the worst thing about this debacle. I don't know who they were. Nobody does. The accident happened on a quiet road without any security cameras, and there weren't any witnesses. If the asshole who put my mom into such a state was caught, maybe I'd feel some kind of closure. It would be like those detective dramas my parents like so much. Justice has been served and all that. It's too bad real life doesn't work that way. If this was a shoujo, it would have been me. It would it would have been the love interest to hit the mom. But we triumph. Love triumphs despite that. My mom's a pretty tough woman and she was determined to get better. She regained control of her upper body after a few months in the hospital, but she couldn't walk. I don't think she'll ever walk again. She took it pretty well though, all things considered. After a while she was discharged from the hospital, but she still can't control her body from the waist down. Sadly, this caused a few problems. My mom used to work with my dad in their store, and it's this small old-fashioned candy store in the middle of the countryside. It's never been super popular, but it did well enough with the local kids. After the accident, however, my mom couldn't help out in the store like she used to. She got tired more easily and she couldn't help Dad with the stock. My parents aren't that well off and they didn't have enough money to hire anybody part-time, so I decided to step in. My parents asked me if I was sure. Didn't I want to go to university like the rest of my friends? But I was adamant. I figured they needed me and I owed them for all they'd done for me. I only intended to help out for a while, but I guess I fell into a routine. In the end, I stayed in Aomori with my parents for 5 years. At least until my mom's sister decided to move to Aomori to help look after them. After my aunt moved in, my parents told me I should try and pursue my own dreams. I'm a little too old now, but they said I should study all the same so I can take my university entrance exams next year. I've been trying, but I'm so far behind everybody else I'm afraid I'll never catch up. It kind of feels like I'm wasting my time, to be honest. I heave a heavy sigh, suddenly thirsty from all my talking, and trace a fingertip against the tabletop. Oh well, it's not like I can go back in time. I need to keep going forward no matter how many times I get pushed back. It's all I can do, even if this ends in total failure. Oh, Mitsuki. Kyoko, who is listening to my story in rapt silence, now looks at me with unabashed sympathy. I'm not opposed to her sympathy, of course, but I don't like it when people feel sorry for me. I stayed in Aomori of my own free will. Nothing was tying me down there, other than my love for my parents and a sense of filial duty. I don't want to feel ashamed about my past, and I'm not. I'm fine. I was fine, at least, but I don't think you're a failure at all. It's very admirable that you helped your family for so long. You really are a model son. Your parents must be proud of you. How's the game so far? Anyone get murdered yet? No, it's a love story, and it seems very sweet and cute. I'm liking it a lot. And it doesn't feel at least the start didn't feel like I've seen it 1,000 times already, which is great. She has a daughter, and it was a little sus. A little. But at least it was different than normal. Love you say would be a shame if it turned to despair. It would. Yeah, I guess it's a little sus taking a little girl home that you found on the street, but hey, at least it's different, right? I guess. She'll be less proud of me if I can't get into a decent university. But I know that's not true. Not really. My parents' love for me is more or less unconditional. I bet I could get involved in a gang or the Yakuza and they'd take me back with open arms. My dad might be a little distant. Emotionally constipated, as my mother says. But he's always been there for me. So has my mom. I know I'm lucky to have parents like mine, and I know they'll love me no matter what, but I don't want to let them down. I want to forge my own path in life, but I'm not sure if I can. I'm just not a very smart person, I guess. Then how about this? What? Kyoko's looking oddly fired up. She leans across the table, palms pressed against its surface, and smiles at me brightly. I'm afraid my Kimpira is too subpar to count as a proper thank you, but this should be a suitable way to show my gratitude. Why don't you let me tutor you? Tutor? That's right. I never went to university myself, but I did reasonably well in school. Not to boast, but I was actually a model student. I received the highest grades in my year. She says she isn't boasting, but she totally is. I can tell she's proud of her achievements, but who am I to falter? If I'd been any good in school, I'd probably want to boast about it too. It's been a long while since I looked at a textbook, but perhaps I could help you? That is, if you wouldn't mind. Well, if you really want to spend more time with me, I'd love to. I mean, Kyoko smiles shyly, her cheeks tinged pale pink, and kneels back down on the tatami floor. I would like to help. You took care of my daughter, so offering my time in return seems only fair. You don't have to agree, but I am in your debt, and I'd like to make things up to you in some manner, and this seems like the best way. You can come over to my apartment if you'd like. Tama would be there, of course, but I don't think she'd mind spending more time with you. Oh, are we gonna spend more time with Mitsuki, Mama? If Mitsuki isn't opposed to the idea. Yay! We're gonna spend more time with Mitsuki! You do like him that much. I like his food. You really are simple, Tama. Let's see what Mitsuki has to say first. I don't want to put any pressure on him. Well, I blink, nonplussed. Why is Kyoko so gung-ho about spending more time with me? It can't be. Is it because she's lonely? Maybe this, like the Kimpira, is nothing more than an excuse. Kyoko claims she wants to tutor me out of a sense of obligation, but perhaps her motives are more self-serving than they appear. Remember when Tro wanted me to play some Korean VN? Yep. Kyoko doesn't know anybody in this apartment complex. She doesn't have any friends at work. She doesn't have any family members living nearby. I guess we're in the same boat. That's why I say, after only a moment of hesitation, alright, let's spend more time together, the three of us. That sounds like fun. Tama, forget the Oni-chan. I am now your Otosan. After all, I was lonely too. That evening, after Kyoko and Tama leave, I make a monumentous decision. Finally, after weeks of subsiding on instant meals, I decide to cook for myself. I think it must have been the Kimpira that did it. Kyoko worked hard to make that dish, simple though it may be. She didn't have to make it for me, but she did all the same. And then she had to battle her embarrassment and feelings of inadequacy to give it to me. Tama was rather damning about her mother's cooking, but I don't care if Kyoko's food tastes bad. In the end, it's the thought that counts, and so I prepare myself a simple meal. I boil rice in the cooker my parents gave me, then serve it with a side of miso soup, some pickled vegetables, and, of course, Kyoko's kimpira. It's a frugal meal devoid of meat. I don't have any pork or chicken, let alone beef. I don't mind though, that gives the kimpira even more space to shine. The comforting smell of freshly cooked rice hanging in the air, mixed with the aroma of miso paste and chopped spring onions. I sit at the low wooden table in my dining room, which also serves as my living room and the bedroom, and bow my head. Itadakimasu. I might be alone, but I don't feel lonely. How could I feel lonely after talking with Kyoko? It won't be the last time we talk either. We're going to see each other again and again. And who knows? Perhaps after enough time has passed, we'll become something more than mere neighbors. A guy can dream, right? There's no harm in a little make-believe. I dip my chopsticks into my bowl of kimpira. The kimpira looks fairly standard as far as kimpira goes. The colorful shreds of cut carrot contrast nicely with the white lotus root and the brown burdock. The vegetables haven't been cut evenly. Some strips are far thicker than the others, but I don't think it matters. I can tell, though the dish is imperfect, that Kyoko put a lot of effort into this. I bring a mouthful of kimpira to my lips and chew it slowly. Kyoko must have used a touch too much vinegar because the dish tastes faintly acidic, and it's a bit too salty. This kimpira isn't as good as my mother's, but that's quite a high hurdle to clear. For what it is, it's pretty nice. The vegetables are cool and reassuringly crunchy, and the flavor, though stronger than I'd prefer, is nostalgic. All of a sudden, I feel sentimental. Kyoko's kimpira might be a touch too vinegary, but despite that, I think it's a very gentle kind of dish. I haven't had food like this in a long, long time. Alright. Intermission. I guess I'm stopping here for today. Man, that was really neat. I kinda wanna get back to this. Even if it's just after Final Fantasy XIV. But yeah. Seems really cute and I wanna play more of it. Also really like the art, which was my surprised face. Oh no! David likes a visual novel. Who knew? No, there's some visual novels that are just very subpar. But I'm liking the situations, the art, the music. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see more of it. Maybe in the afternoons if I ever get back to that. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching and hanging out today. This has been The Language of Love and Final Fantasy XIV before it. We'll be back tomorrow with more Final Fantasy XIV. Hopefully the maintenance is done. So, yeah. I guess it's farming time tomorrow. keep playing this? Yeah, I will, but only after the sub is done. Because otherwise I'm wasting sub money. Yeah. I'm going to try farming the mounts. Where would I find this wonderful game? On the PlayStation Store? Mubat has been saying that all this time. PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch! Guys, if you want to farm the mounts for the bosses tomorrow, I'm going to try to do that, so do show up for that. If not, you can just sit around and complain that you weren't invited. Have a good night. Goodbye.